Hello, I thought I'd give an overview of my astrophotography setup. I've been meaning to do a video like this, but I haven't had the time or energy to do so. So here it goes. Here's my main telescope. It's a Celestron Advanced VX mount I bought used off of Cloudy Nights. It was hyper-tuned by the previous owner, and it works pretty good for being an entry-level mount. I can get consistent 10-minute sub-exposures with a 27-pound payload. I plan on upgrading to something like a Atlas Pro in a couple of years, hopefully. My main scope is a High Point Scientific 6-inch f4 astrograph. I haven't really done anything to it except I added some hex head bolts to help collimate it. Makes it easier than using a Phillips head screwdriver. My main imaging camera is a ZWO ASI 178 monochrome with the ZWO 8-position filter wheel, the luminous RGB filter set, and a 7nm hydrogen alpha filter. And I have a high point coma corrector on that. I have a 4-point mount, side-by-side mount, so I could either mount 2 optical tubes or mount accessories to it, like my laser finder. In the middle, my machine, I drilled some holes for the guide scope mount. That way I can change optical tubes without having to mess with my guide scope at all. Guide scope is it's basically a clone of an Orion 60mm guide scope. Works really good. Then my guide camera is ZWO ASI 120MC. For power, I have a 12-volt, 30-amp power supply. I have a little power analyzer there so I can keep an eye on how much current I'm drawing for when I'm running off of batteries. I have a fuse block, separate fuses for my mount, and for the cameras when I get a camera with a PEC or a TEC. For all of my USB, I've got a 4-port powered USB hub up on the main scope assembly, and USBs from my main imaging camera and my guide cam go into that. That goes down through the umbilical and then to my next hub, which is a 4-port hub that goes to the computer, directly to the computer. The second cable is going to the adapter, and that's going to my hand control. One of the modifications I did to my hand control is I replaced the coil cord with a long extra cord I had for guide scope or guide camera. It makes it a lot easier. It's about 4 feet long. For the main power cord or main cords going from the mount up to the main scope assembly, I've got USB 12-volt power and the guide and auto guider cable. All of those are tethered or connected together. Then I've got a clip that isolates any stresses from the plugs, so there's no chance of them pulling apart or the plugs coming unplugged. That's my main setup right there, my main imaging setup for smaller galaxies and stuff like that. Got a red dot finder that I modified. I got a little inspection mirror, and it's looser than normal, so you can see it, look through the finder at any angle. Makes it a lot easier because my balance isn't that great, and that's why. I haven't actually used that much since I got the laser finder, or since I made it. It's just a green laser I got off of eBay, and I made the mount for it. The ASI 178, I like it so far. The field of view is kind of narrow, but for what it is, I like it. Eventually I'm going to upgrade to a ASI 183 or 1600 monochrome. Either one I get is going to be the cooled version. I've also got another hub, 4-port hub right there that my camera and the filter wheel goes into, and then that goes down to this hub. I finally got a dew control system set up. I got two 12-volt 3-amp pulse width modulators from Amazon, and I just 3D printed a housing for that. I got some RCA plugs to go on the back, and right now I just have a mock-up of a dew strap for my guide scope. I just got some heater wire off of Amazon, wrapped it up on some tape, and then strapped the tape to the dew heater. This will be my first night testing that. I've got all my 12-volt outputs for accessories. One's going to the dew heater, the other two are for eventually when I have better cameras that have thermoelectric cooling and anything else I might need 12-volt power up topside for. Here's all my accessories. I've got Barlows, eyepieces, a Cheshire collimator, cables, extension tubes. Accessories I have up here, I've got two Batnov masks, one for my 6-inch Newt and one for the AT66. This one I 3D printed, and then I've got a light panel that's originally meant for sketching drawings, but I use it for taking my flats, which seems to work really good. I haven't taken much flats lately because there's not much vignetting with the ASI 178 and the 6-inch, so I haven't really been doing many flats for that. I take flats when I use my DSLR on the 6-inch, which I'll be doing tonight. I'm shooting Andromeda tonight. And there's my wide field setup. It's a Astrotech AT66 ED, and my DSLR is a Nikon D7100. I don't have a field flattener or not coma corrector, but a focal reducer yet. It doesn't actually have a 2-inch focuser. The draw tube has a SCT thread on the end, so I have to put on my 2-inch SCT adapter and then go to my camera accessories with that. So I'm not sure if a focal reducer will have enough in focus to get the camera in focus. If not, I'm going to have to machine an adapter that threads the focal reducer directly to the draw tube. I've got a dew strap on that, just a cheap one I got off of Amazon. That's pretty much it. After I get a new car, hopefully next year, I'm gonna start saving up and go all out on upgrades. I'm gonna keep my AT66 as my wide field scope. That'll be a really nice imaging scope once I get a field flattener and focal reducer. Since I've had the AT66, I've gotten the bug for refractors, I've kind of lost interest in Newtonians, so I'm going to replace this with an Explore Scientific ED102 triplet, and then those two will be my main scopes for deep sky imaging. And eventually I'm going to get a Celestron C8 for planetary imaging and lunar imaging, and then for some smaller deep sky objects, because I have an f6.3 focal reducer for that. And once I get the upgraded main camera, the ASI 178 will become my dedicated guide camera, and then my 120 color will become my dedicated planetary camera, so I don't have to keep swapping out my guide cam when I want to go to planetary imaging. That's pretty much it.